our final week of our So Steady 6 weeks of deals, and we are ending strong this week with one of our absolute favorites, the So Steady Grid Glider. This fan favorite tool transforms your sewing surface into a slick surface for you to have your fabric glide smoothly every time. No snags, no drags, just smooth controlled stitching every single time. Plus, a built-in measurements on the glider itself, so it will help you stay perfectly aligned for more accurate seams and flawless piecing on all of your sewing projects. And this week only, when you add a So Steady Grid Glider to your cart, we are giving you a free polish kit to keep your table ready to have any project glide through that needle area with ease. Ideal for free motion, template quilting, or really any sewing surface where you want your fabric to move freely. It's the perfect upgrade for every quilter and sewer who loves precision and a clean, smooth sewing surface for any kind of setup. Want to win big this week? Like, comment, and share on this video to enter. Buy the featured product for bonus entries, and don't forget to sign up for our weekly prize giveaway. Now, in addition to that, we are going to give you your last chance to sign up for our big grand prize, which is happening Tuesday, December 9th, this coming Tuesday at 10 a.m. So you need to sign up for the enter to win on the grand prize before then. This is huge. This is a So Steady wish table like you see right here with one of our travel and project bags and our smartphone lounger, plus our Elevate quilt box. This amazing box right here, you can get it for our current quarter, or you can wait and get it for the next quarter that's releasing just on 2 weeks. That is a total value of over $875. So you definitely want to take advantage of that if you can. Don't miss out. It's your final week to sign up for these deals, score these prizes, and don't forget to join us on Tuesday, December 9th, where we will have live giveaways. We'll be unveiling all of our new calendars and some new programs for 2026. And of course, you're going to have these bonus entries to win. So we hope to see you on December 9th at 10 a.m. during our customer appreciation event. Happy holidays. Joining us, we're here, and we've got Michelle Hall here. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. This is your debut.
Oh, thank you. It's so fun.
Yeah, this is your debut on our So Steady page. So I am super excited to introduce Michelle as one of our newest promoted instructors. She comes to us from a long history of being an educator. So I'm going to let you tell them a little bit about that, and then you can share with them what you're going to be doing today. But I just know that all of you are going to be so excited to have Michelle teaching and sharing with all of you. So please take it away, Michelle.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Hall. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I have been teaching, I think, pretty much since I was born. So my mom was the home ec teacher, and all through my life, I had the wonderful experience of learning from her. And as soon as I could teach everyone, that's what I was doing. So happy to be here and happy to share this wonderful project with you. So today we are going to look at the EmbroideLee Quilted Tree. And here is one representation of it. This tree can be adapted in so many different ways. But what I love about this project is it features several of our embroidery collections. So let me show you those. So the first one I want to show you is in our Q4 box. This one right here, and it is our spinning ribbon collection. The next one we'll be using is our spinning dizzy geese collection. Again, those are in our Q4 box. And then the newest one that we have that I absolutely love is our freestanding lace. And we're going to be featuring some of these. They end up the features on the very front of our tree. So to begin our project, we need to take a look at stabilizers that we'll be using in the hoop today. So for the most part, we have several options. And what you choose will depend on the hand of your quilted blocks when they're finished. So one of the products that I love to use is a fusible fleece. And the reason I love this fusible fleece is it's nice and thin and it doesn't get our quilting very thick because we want to be able to bend those blocks up and over. The next stabilizer that I'll be using for the quilting blocks is a poly mesh, no-show mesh standard. What you want to look for, though, is a stabilizer that is even. It's got no high and low spots in it. That will give the best result for your project. Another stabilizer we'll be using is a wash away. And the wash away, again, you want it to look like fabric. There are some that look like really nice and thick sheets of plastic almost. Badge Masters, some look like sheets of plastic, but they're thin. Those are toppers. So we're looking for the one that's fabric. And again, I also want one that doesn't have any really high and low spots to it. And you'll need 2 layers of this for each hooping for your legs. Okay. So let me see. Oh, I want to show you one of the newest stabilizers that I love. This one right here, it is from Baby Lock. It is an ultra soft fusible. It is like fusible fleece, but it's really nice and thin. All right, the last thing that you could consider doing is using a fusible woven. So if your blocks are getting really big for the project, say you wanted a 14-inch bottom square for the quilted parts of the project, then you may want to add a fusible woven to it just to keep that block a little more stable as it's hanging as your decor for your home. Awesome. All right, so we are going to go over to the machine. So if we could get the camera switched over to the machine, that would be great. Stacy, are you able to move that for me? I can't. There we go. Awesome. So you can see today, I am in front of my Solaris 2. I do have the newest Baby Lock machine as well. It's just not out in this room today. This one is the 2, but it has been upgraded to a Vision. So it is a very nice machine. The first thing you're going to need is all your designs for the class on your thumb drive. So I'm going to pull this off. So I've got it on my thumb drive. I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the machine. And then we are going to go ahead and pull up our designs. So on this machine, I'm going to go to the memory pocket. And you can see I do a lot of work in my machine. I'm going to go to that USB. And you can see in here that I have a freestanding lace earring. I've also got our freestanding lace design of a snowflake, a wreath, this lovely little plus sign. I've got a star and another design used on the front of the tree. And then I have the quilting that we'll be doing. The first one is being used on the trunk of the tree. And the last 4 are sizes that we need for the blocks for the tree. Okay, so in the pattern directions, you will get all of your cutting instructions. So let's take a look at those real quick. You'll also get all the designs that you will need to pull. Those are up here on page 2, all the designs there. And then for the tree, we have blocks ranging in size from a 4-inch square, a 5-inch or 6-inch square, 8-inch square, 10-inch square, and a 12-inch square. And on page 5, you will see the designs that are being used on each of the squares, the hoop sizes that I have used for the project, and then how they will be trimmed when they are all stitched out. And at the very bottom, you'll see the information for the tree trunk squares as well. All right, so let's get to it. We're going to start out with a lace design, and it is best to stitch out your lace one at a time. When designs are small, sometimes I get a little risky and I'll put more than one design in my hoop at a time. So I've already got my stabilizer hoop. This is 2 layers of that wash away stabilizer. And we're going to go ahead and get that on the machine. And then I'm going to call up the design I would like to stitch. And I think I'm going to choose this one right here today. It is nice and small. Now, I have a 5x7 area here on the screen to look in, and I've also got my 5x7 hoop on the machine. So if I wanted, I can stitch them out one at a time and take use of all this space by moving my design. And then when I'm done with that one, I can add another one, or I could add them all to the beginning. Again, it is recommended to stitch out only one at a time and sometimes only one in a hoop. So just keep that in mind. All right, so what I love about this design is it actually can be done in 2 separate colors. So the base layer can be one color, and then you could do all your decorative stitching on the top in a second color, giving it some added dimension and detail. So for example, this one right here, I did the bottom in pink and the top in purple. But for today, I chose a very lovely shade of cardinal red, and I'm going to stitch both of those all in the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and move to embroidery. I'm going to drop my foot and we're going to go. And notice this design really only takes 4 minutes to stitch out, so it's nice and small. One of the things I love about our lace designs. I also love that it's got a little loop on the top, so you can make this one into earrings. You could put it on a hook and put it on your Christmas tree. You can embellish all sorts of things with that little loop that's on there. So absolutely love it. All right, our base layer will be done here pretty soon. Now, you notice when it's stitching, sometimes with wash away stabilizer, the stabilizer will begin to give some hills and valleys in it. That's why it's really important when the design is big to only stitch out one at a time. When they're small, our registration doesn't get off too much and the design stitches out still very well. Just something to note. All right. So again, we're going to use the same color thread and we're just going to let that next color go ahead and stitch. Now, when I do this project, I really like to do all my lace first because it does require rinsing it according to the manufacturer's instructions and then letting it dry properly. So one tip that I have is that lace likes to curl when it dries. So I always put it pretty side down because it wants to curl up toward the top stitching for some reason. If you find it does that different for you, that's great. But that would be my big tip, is that I always dry it the pretty side down. So once I rinse it, it's a little tacky. And I make sure that I rinse it where it's not completely all rinsed out. Because if you rinse all the tackiness away, your lace will not be nice and not necessarily stiff, but rigid enough to become the embellishments on your tree. You do want to leave a little bit in. However, if you wash it all away, now it's more like Battenberg lace and it's nice and soft. So just something to think about when you're doing your lace. Also, I do not recommend walking away from your machine when your lace is going, because we all know when we've got a project that's only thread, as soon as we walk away, that's when something's going to happen. Well, let me tell you how many times I've had to learn that one. It's to be a little crazy. All right, I can see on my machine that we're getting about halfway through the decoration on the top so far. So we're about 1.5 minutes in on that 3 minutes.
Well, I absolutely love what you're doing with this project here, Michelle. I feel like some of the things that you're sharing about the stabilizers and kind of some of those tips are all really helpful. I know for me, for sure.
I think it's always fun when we get new designs because I don't know if
Yeah.
you're like me, Stacy. I love to stitch them out immediately just to see what they look like.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I was,
Yeah.
I've got a secret, but we're just finishing up another collection that might have to do with this winter thing that we're coming into. Uh,
Oh, nice.
and I'm like, I've got some work to do. I need to stitch out some designs tonight.
Ah, nice. So that'd be a good opportunity. We should Zoom and have a little party.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, we're
So
super excited.
yeah, it's really interesting. I love lace and I love how delicate it can be. And then
Hmm.
sometimes if the stitching is thicker, it gets a little more rigid. So you'll see 3D projects all the time. And the lace that's created for those is a little thicker than what we've got. So I do love the delicate hand of what Jessica has done for us. She's just amazing.
She really is. We're pretty
She,
lucky.
yes, we are very lucky. All right, so this one's done. And I love the noise my machine gives me. It makes me want to celebrate. Okay, so at this point, I will come back and actually do more inside this hoop. So I'm not going to go ahead and take it out of the hoop, but you would take your hoop off your machine, take it out. You're going to trim around the design. I leave, if I'm comfortable, an eighth of an inch of stabilizer around, or if I feel like I might accidentally cut that loop off. Ask me how I know that one. It's not pretty. You might want to trim a little bigger. And then again, just follow those manufacturer instructions for rinsing out the stabilizer. But here are the ones that we will be using today. And I absolutely love how delicate and nice that they are. So I'm going to set those to the side for a moment. And if you want to see one that has the trimming, again, I'll just pull up one of these. You can see I trimmed just a little bit bigger in the corners because I was using actually a square to help me cut this one out. And
And I have to mention, if anybody that design looks familiar, that is the highlighted design, like one of our main designs for our Q4 Elevate Shed of Disease.
mhm,
So you have
yes,
seen that design before if you watch our lives.
yes, and it's a
And now it's
gorgeous
a
one.
freestanding lace design. Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah, another thing I want to leave you with is when you get your lace done and it's all dried out, think of ways to connect them together and create a doily or a lace collar for our holiday dresses. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Oh, I love that
Oh
idea.
my goodness. Or I don't know, we're going to the party and we've got our lovely satin shirt. We could inset the lace along a cuff as well.
Oh
And
my
notice this one's
goodness.
pretty stiff. I would probably rinse it out a little more for that one. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to be scratchy, do
Now,
we?
if you were to do 3 layers of stabilizer, would that just make it like,
Hmm.
would it just make it more stiff?
It
Is like
would.
the,
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I think if I was going to do 3 layers, I would add the one that really looks like a piece of plastic. And
oh,
my favorite one is Badge Master, and it
okay,
is thicker. So when you rinse it, it really does leave your lace nice and firm.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I just thought of. What about a modesty inset for your top if it's getting a little risque?
Oh, good call. Yes, I love it.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. Awesome. All right. So now you've got all your lace done. You're rinsing it out. It's drying overnight. It is time to work on the quilted blocks. So for the quilted blocks, I chose one of the spinning designs that to me really looks like a snowflake, and it is beautiful. So I'm going to come here, going to hit return, and oh, let me return again. Let's delete our design because I'll come back again, like I said, later. and we're going to add some more. Okay, so we're going to go back to our thumb drive now. And I need to start taking a look at the size of the designs that we have to choose. So we've got a 4-inch, a 6-inch, we've got an 8-inch, and we've got a 10-inch. And I love all of these. There's even a 12-inch. So if you have a machine that can do that 12-inch design, oh man, I want to be at your house. Invite me there. My biggest hoop only goes to 11 5/8 wide. Oh
wow.
no. So if I can bring the design in.
We lost your voice for a second, Michelle. I think it's just a little pause in the, maybe she's got a call coming in. That happens sometimes. All right. Yep, we just have a little pause. All right, so I'm going to go ahead while Michelle is kind of paused in midair here. I was going to go ahead and make mention that we are offering a Deal Day 20 discount right now. So if you choose that you want to go ahead and get any of these embroidery collections, you can go ahead and take advantage of that right here. There she is.
Oh,
hi, Michelle.
no. I am not sure what happened.
I knew you'd come back.
That is the power of the internet, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always tell people it's like that box of chocolates. You just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my goodness, that's so hilarious. Okay, well, I do have one camera up and going, and for some reason, my other one is just not reloading right now. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the machine. Again, that 10-inch design, if you need it bigger, you can make it bigger. So what I'm going to do is take a look at the 4-inch design today. One, because we wanted to stitch out just a little quicker and not take so much time watching the machine do its thing, because we all know they do it so well. Okay, so on my machine, if I want to edit the size, I have the ability to recalculate stitches. This will be very important for the smallest square that we're going to do. So let me grab my small square and just show you real quick. This one, when it's trimmed, ends up being 2.5 inches. That's not very big at all. My design is about 4 inches. If I just start sizing it smaller, it only lets me go 20%. So every machine that doesn't have recalculating can only take designs down a certain amount so that the machine doesn't break needles and everything works properly. So I'm going to reset this one. And if I touch this key on my machine, it says a scary message. I say, okay, but now watch what I can do. I can actually get that down to 2.25 by 2.25, and it's going to stitch beautifully, but it has recalculated those stitches. So just see what your machine will do. If your machine cannot get small like that, what you will do is you will take the materials for this block, and you're going to lay the green fabric down pretty side up, the white fabric or whatever you're using on the back, pretty sides together. You will you will lay your batting or whatever material you're using for quilting on top of that, and then you would stitch around your square. You're going to leave an opening, you'll turn it right side out, then you can go to your machine and just quilt some lines on it, maybe an X, maybe some diagonal lines, just to get the small guy done. Okay. So now I have a 6 by 10 hoop, and what we need to do is just hoop that poly mesh or that nylon mesh stabilizer. Now, we need to remember this is nylon. So if you go to press your block, please make sure your iron is the temperature that the manufacturer recommends, or it may shrink a little. Some people pre-shrink this. I just go ahead and go with it. And just know that I cannot use a very hot iron at all. Probably good to use a press cloth and go with that. Okay, so I have my design. I know that I'm going to be stitching out this 4-inch design, and I'm going to say, okay, we're going to go to embroidery. Now, at this stage, depending on which machine you have placement tools available for you. So I'm going to grab the fabrics for this size block, which are my 6-inch squares. Why 6-inch for a 4-inch block? Because it gives us some wiggle room if things get a little out of alignment. The arm, because he does that once in a while. He does not pay attention to what his body is doing in my workspace. Okay, so for this machine, I have available to me a projector. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And what it's going to do is it's going to shine the design down on my stabilizer for me. And let's see, I need to get my piece of. So here's my fusible fleece. The fusible fleece is going to go on here with the nice and soft side up. If it is fusible, you want that fusible to be down. And I can see exactly where it's going to be stitching on top of this fusible fleece. And then, with hopefully not dry hands, I can move my projector a little bit. That still looks good. I know I'll be trimming this eventually. So I just want to make sure that my products are where I need them. Now I could go ahead and tape this down. I recommend doing tearaway tape, maybe even wash away tape, something that is not this guy, because this one is not needle friendly and it is super sticky. So if you feel like taping that down, you can. Then I can put my fabric on here. And again, I can use my positioning tool of that projector to see where it's going to go. And so for today, you could change your thread from red, you could put in a gold, you can match the green background, use white. The sky's the limit, that's up to you. So I think I'm good. I like where it's positioned. And now I can see this design takes 1 minute to stitch out. So we're just going to go ahead and let it stitch after I put some tape. I do want to hold that fabric. Even though it's a 1 minute stitch out, it will, because it's circular, kind of move the fabric around, especially as it gets started. So I just want to make sure that I'm going to tape these corners. So Stacy, have you ever done a design and you forgot to tape your fabrics? No, she's still listening.
Oh, yeah.
What happened? Can you tell us?
Things move.
Yeah. Did it ever get wrapped around your foot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So another big tip is if you have to have tape in the project and that foot's going to be moving over, you might want to be really careful as it gets to that. Either stop the machine, make sure everything's good. Some machines, did you know this? Like if you hold your start stop button, they will actually slow down for you as you approach that tape. That's kind of a neat thing. I know the baby locks do it. Yeah, those baby locks do it, but I'm not sure about all machines. So just look at your manuals and see what your machine actually does. So we're going to let this one stitch out and see how this one's going. I love that these designs are so quick. So Stacy, Jessica just did a great job with the overall stitch out itself. If you look, it's just very smooth and there's no jerks of the hoop at all as it's going. Nothing seems like it's making a noise at all with my machine. The reason I say that, guys, I digitize, and I did something the other day and I was like, that did not go well. So I had to redo it. So Jessica spends a lot of time and care for us putting these together.
Well, and one of the things that I really love is that we have so many people testing them too.
Mhm.
So we definitely try to put it out there and get everybody to give us their 2 cents before we bring it out, knowing that, we want to make it work for everyone.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that red thread. Hopefully that's coming
Oh
through.
yeah, that looks
It's just
gorgeous.
beautiful. And again, there's a lot of fabric out here. One, because we're cutting the square bigger, and I just really want this motif in the middle. So now I have an option. I can take the white fabric that will go, because I'm going to use greens and whites, and I could stitch this design on the white fabric as well. That is beautiful. And I love doing that because that's the way I went ahead and did these. Well, that one doesn't show so well. Let's do this one. So you can see the yellow design that I did, and then I also stitched it on the white. If you are running quick to get this project done, say it's going to be a gift for someone and it has to be done right now, your lace is dry, you could skip doing the design on the white. And once this is trimmed the way it needs to be, you could put the white on it, do your stitching around, turn it inside out. But I just love having the design on both sides, especially because we'll be flipping it up and it helps me see different parts of the design, especially as the blocks get bigger. So we'll be flipping it up kind of like that. So I love the way that looks down there. But that's me. It's up to you. All right, so we're done with this one. I would be taking it out of the hoop. I'd be stitching the other one because I do like the stitching on both sides. And also we're going to be removing this tape. So I've got a little tip for you when you're removing your tape. And my tip is not to pull the tape in the direction of the length of grain of your fabric. Because when you do that, see all these fraying here? If you pull in the direction of that, it's going to fray even more. So if we could pull this off at a 45-degree angle, look, I don't get all that fraying happening. So that's my big tip. So if you can, make sure that you're pulling it off at that 45-degree angle because it really does minimize the fraying on the edges of your fabric. All right, so now we are going to switch camera views here for a minute, and we're going to go to our cutting surface. So Stacy, do you have anything that you can tell us about upcoming stuff at the moment?
Oh my goodness, we've got such a big event happening tomorrow at 10 a.m., guys. If you don't have this on your calendar yet, you are going to absolutely want to get it on there. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., we are officially going to be hosting our customer appreciation party of the year. That is where we do live giveaways throughout the entire hour. It's like a live giveaway mecca of winning everything that we've been talking about this quarter. You are going to have the opportunity to win. In addition to that, we're going to be unveiling our calendar for 2026, which we're super excited about. And we're going to be unveiling a couple of amazing opportunities and programs that our customers are going to absolutely love. So you're going to want to be part of it. If you can't catch it live, you can definitely watch the recording, but it's hard to win live if you can't be there live, you know? So we definitely encourage you to try to get that going. So yes, we're super excited about that. And it looks like you are just finding a couple things, but I love what you've got going here, some of these designs.
Thank you. Yep, I'm just getting going. I had a couple of things set on this table from earlier today. So thank you for giving us all that wonderful info. I can't wait to see what's happening. So exciting. So exciting. So at this point, we're going to be assembling the tree, and the very last page of the instructions will give general information on assembly of the tree. So what you need to know is I'm going to deviate maybe just a little bit from this as we discuss assembling the tree today. but this would work for any of your quilted blocks. So if you have our Spinifex rulers, you can quilt your blocks with those. You can do just so many different things. You have orphan blocks that you've been doing through the years practicing. This project's also good for that. So grab a set of our Spinifex and have some fun practicing and create some blocks for yourself. But I love doing this on the embroidery machine for sure. Okay, so let me grab my lace. We're going to stick this over here to the side. Another thing I want you to think about is maybe using different fabrics for your tree. Wouldn't it be nice and lovely shades of blue? Or maybe spring colors and put Easter decorations on it or spring decorations. So this project can be adapted to any time of the year, any purpose, just depends on the embellishments that you use. So just food for thought. Okay, so for this part, I need some nice strong pins because I'm going to be folding and doing a little bit of hand stitching. You can opt to do some machine stitching if you want, but the layers do get pretty thick. So we're going to want to make sure that if you decide to do stitching at the machine, that you have a nice, strong, sturdy needle. So maybe not an 80-12, maybe a 90-14. If the layers are very, very thick, I would opt for even maybe a size 16 needle. Just trying to find one more piece of my tree. I seem to have lost it. And it is the tree trunk, but that's okay. I don't know where it went. It sprouted legs. Let's have some fun. Okay. So let me grab this one block because we're going to discuss trimming the blocks also. So I will be using this little cutting mat today, and I'll be using one of my favorite rulers. And I did leave some tape on here, but that's okay. So to trim this one up, I need to trim it to a 5-inch square. And if we notice these little spikes here, give us a nice north, south, east, west on them, so that when I put my ruler up here and I'm looking for the 2.5, I can put the 2.5 on top of those spikes and I can really line everything up very nicely. And then I would trim here and here only. Once that's trimmed, then I will pick it up and flip it. So let's see if I can trim okay. On camera is fun when you've got a camera in your face, isn't it? Okay. So I don't recommend going back and forth like that. I'm just doing it because the camera is right at my nose today. All right, we're going to pretend that did very well. And then you would pick it up. And now I have nice straight edges here that would be cut very nicely. And I could work to get my 5-inch block. If something didn't trim nicely like that, you could go back and fix it. Okay, so you're going to square up all your blocks according to those instructions. Then you're going to turn them right side out. And once they're right side out, we need to have a turning tool to help us get them turned. Let me see. Got my favorite turning tool here. And I've got this one already sewn. I think hopefully everyone knows how to sew a 1/4-inch seam around. Once they're trimmed right side together, make sure you leave a big enough opening gap. I recommend at least 1.5 to 2 inches, especially as the blocks get bigger. You're going to want a bigger opening there. Okay, so you're going to trim, trim. And I have a friend who taught me once that maybe 45-degree angle isn't enough there in the corner. It still ends up very bulky. So she comes in a little bit back and she kind of scoops like that. So if you are good with scooping, you can do that too. Just make sure you don't get too thin at the corner or you actually cut that corner off. Just like cutting off the loops of your lace. All right. So now we're going to separate our layers. I need to go in between the green and the white. I'm going to use the best turning tool I have so far, which is my hands and fingers. I'm going to grab this corner and I'm going to take that immediately through the hole. Okay. And I can worry about pushing that out better. What that does is it allows me to grab that. And then I call this like birthing your project, because sometimes it can be a little much as you're turning. Hopefully we don't have to do any breathing techniques as you're going, but some of the purses I do, the holes that they recommend to leave open just are not all that big. Okay, again, I'm going to use my finger as best I can. And now at this point, it's about halfway done. So I can actually use the material to help me pull all the rest of the way out. Okay. That's fun. I'm trying not to drop it as I've got it held up in the air here. All right. So then you can take your tool, you can push these out. And once that's done, you would work to get all of the square maybe pressed. Again, I would take a press cloth. Don't have the iron up too high. Probably medium, low to get it all pressed. If you've got one of the rollers, those little wooden rollers, you could also use that. But what I do is I just kind of roll it or pinch. And then I would grab clips to hold it. So you can grab your little wonder clips or whatever you like, hold it all the way around. In the opening area, we really want to make sure that this is folded under that 1/4 inch seam allowance based on the instructions. Okay. If this is too thick because you have batting on the front and the back, you could open up the seam and remove some of that batting or the fusible fleece in the seam area. That's going to help it really fold in there nicely. Once all that's done, then you take it to the machine. And I like top stitching with a 1/4 inch seam in here, about 1/8 inch away. You could do a 1/4 inch if you want. It's just not going to catch that opening area. So I really recommend 1/8 inch. Okay. Again, just for time, we're not actually going to stitch our 1/4 inch around. I think everyone can do that. If you got questions, you can always get in touch with me or yell at Stacy. So you won't mind. Right, Stacy?
That's right.
That's right. Okay. So at this point, we need to assemble the tree. All the squares are done. You've decided how you wanted to do your little guy, whether he's just got quilted lines on there or if you were able to get the design smaller. Now we start at the very bottom of the tree, which is interesting. So what we do once this is all done, top stitched, we're going to turn this up.
Everybody that we were expecting in the classroom here.
And once this is turned up, I'm going to simulate right now just the tacking that would be done up here, because we would grab the trunk of the tree. And we're just going to say that these blocks are done. I can't find the one that's done. It is sprouted legs in here. But this would all be quilted as well with the design that needs to be on it. You would decide where that would need to be, and you could line up the lines that are quilted on here with the lines that you see. And once you're satisfied with where it's placed, I would take this pin out, pin through all these layers, and then I would turn it over and I would whip stitch the top of this all the way from one end to the other to hold the tree trunk on. This is one, if you would like, once you know where it is, you could machine stitch through all of that very nicely as well. And the reason I could machine stitch is once this is folded up, it's hiding all the machine stitching down there. Okay, so we're going to play like our trunk is on and it's right where we want it. I'm going to pin it just a little higher here. Okay, then I would fold this up. We're going to hand tack this in place. And so I'll simulate that with a pin today. So for hand tacking tips, you could do like a whip stitch and just whip around. Or you can do what my grandmother used to call stick and stab. And she would go down through all the layers and then from the backside up through all the layers. That works too. Do at least 3 of those stitches to help hold it. Okay, so this one will be done. We grab the next big square. And I love this design because it has the 2 circles. And for me, I found it best to always flip it up to the larger circle straight in alignment with that spike there on the top. So again, I'd be whip stitching this or holding it however you like. I do not recommend machine stitching this part. Okay. So now what I decided was I could have a really tall tree just by how much they're separated. So if you want your tree really tall, maybe connect them up here. If you want your tree a little more squatty or short, then we can move this down. So I played with it a little bit. And what I found was I really liked these tips to be 4 inches apart. And it's important to keep these tips parallel as you're working. So I'm going to look at this mat here. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 and put that there. Then I'm going to come to the other side and I'm going to make sure that those are also 4 apart. If you have a bigger cutting mat, even better. Then I'm going to look and make sure that this tip is still in alignment there. Then I would hold this, and these nice sturdy pins are so nice because you can literally pin through all these layers, no problem. And it doesn't even bend. So because I'm type A, I'm going to just check one more time. And then I'm going to pin on the other side. Now, what I do from here is this is already tacked. I'm going to tack in the corners. So you could use a green thread. You could use the gold like what I used for the quilting. You could even use white. So this will be tacked. You're going to tack here. Then we flip the tree over. And then we're going to tack this corner on the back to help hold everything. This one, again, you could do it all the way through all the layers. And then you'll turn it back around. So either whip stitch that one back there or through all the layers. Okay, then you grab the next one. Again, we're going to fold it up and we're going to tack right there. So we're going to use our pin to show that we're doing that. And then decide, again, how do we want the tree to look? Is that looking good? Do I need to move it up some? It's up to you. So I found on this one, I liked them 3 inches apart. So I'm going to look, make sure I'm keeping this in alignment here. Those are 3 inches. And I would pin it. Now, because this lays all on the mat, a little nicer because it's getting smaller, we can pin that. Again, the process is we're going to tack in those corners. So I would be tacking down here, over here, flip it over, and tack again on the back, that upper corner. Grab the next one. Same process, fold it up and tack it. Well, layers sometimes appear to get thicker when it gets smaller because it gets a little harder to actually get a pin in there. On this one, I decided I liked it about 2.5, maybe even 2 1/4. So let's try the half today. Think that looks good. Now it's getting smaller, so it's getting a little harder to pin. So ladies, watch your fingers. Gentlemen, watch your fingers if you're doing this too. I actually had some classes that I was doing some long arming, and we had a few gentlemen, and man, are they good artists, just like us. He was just phenomenal. All right, so tack, tack, turn it over, and tack. So make sure you've got your 3 tacks there. Then we're going to grab the little guy. Now this one's interesting. One, because of the way it's quilted. So in the general directions, if you just have lines on here, they say at least halfway or a little more than halfway. So when I looked at these, they're about 2/3 of the way. So I just kind of eyeballed that. But if you have the design on here, then you don't have to worry about eyeballing it. That's one of the nice things about it. You're able to do that design on the smallest one. Okay, so this one's going to be really tight. I'm going to really work to not get my fingers there. Okay, it's so cute. It's so little. So on this one, I decided I liked it almost on top of that top square that's already connected. If you want, maybe just bring it up until they're about 2 inches apart. But I liked it so that it kept in alignment with all the white that's being folded up to be almost on top of the corner there. So that's just me, up to you. All right, again, we're going to tack here, tack there, turn it over, and make sure that that corner got tacked on the back. If they are virtually on top of each other, when you turn it over, you're pretty much attaching the tips almost in alignment. You could even put it directly on top of the other one. All right, now it's time to embellish. So it's all together, it's all being held by threads. It's not a super heavy project, so you don't really have to do a lot of machine sewing to get it together. So we're going to grab our freestanding lace and we're going to talk about those for a minute. So I decided I'm embracing the loop. I love the loop. It helps me with placement. And I really like this one right at the end. So I could attach it just with a little bit of tacking right at the top. Now for this one, I'm going to use a thread though that matches my lace because I don't want the threads to be showing. Or I could kind of tuck it up under there a little bit, maybe, and move it up higher. This spike also helps me with alignment. So if I put this here centered, it will help me center that. Okay, so we're going to say we like it right there. And again, I'm just going to use some pins to hold it. My other tip for tacking is it doesn't take much. These are very light. So I could tack it right here where it's meeting the edge of the white and up at the top. And that's actually enough to hold it. If you think it needs more security, tack more. Totally up to you. The next design, I love this one, is super delicate. So my tip when you're drying them that I forgot to mention earlier is you may actually have to block them like a sweater. So if you are laying it down and it gets shifted a little bit, one corner's out of alignment from the opposite corner, you may have to work to do what's called blocking. So for this one, because these are free, it will slip up under. So I could position it like this. I could also turn it like this. You can set it at whatever angle you like. And once you get it where you like it, say you want it here, but you don't like that sticking out, that could wrap around. And you could tack it down there at the bottom still easily if you want. I think it's charming to have them kind of overlapping just a little bit like the ornaments on a tree. My children love to put ornaments. They're much bigger now. They're grown adults, but they still like to put things on top of each other. They never lost that as they got bigger. Okay, so we're going to say that that looks good. So that one's all tacked. The next one, I'm going to grab the one that looks like a plus sign. Again, I could tack it up here or I could center it. And once I get that where I like it, then we would tack that one in place. Okay, next one I did was the little wreath. I love this little guy. Wouldn't that be cute for like napkin rings or definitely earrings? Oh my goodness, that would be so cute for earrings for the holidays. All right, now what's really interesting about this one is this is one of our earrings and look how long it is. So when I was deciding, I thought, well, maybe I'll fold it in half and sew it on. And that looks adorable. What I saw though with my eye, look how dark this becomes compared to the other ones because it's doubled. So I left it open and I went ahead and I tacked it up here at that little loop. And now I'm going to undo this just because it's super tight right now with those pins, but this would be tacked. And all I did was I folded it up and under and stuck it in there. And that's all it needed to hold it. If you think it's going to slip out, you could tack it in a few more places, but it is pretty tight up there. So I'm going to just simulate that that one got tacked in there. So think of your freestanding lace maybe outside the box a little bit and how you want to use them. Because it's, again, it's kind of like that box of chocolates. You can get so many different looks depending on what you do with them. All right, so now the topper. I love this little star. And what I like for alignment is there's a little triangle right here at the bottom. And I thought that would look cute like that. Just put that triangle at the very top of that top block. If you want it down further, you can do that. If you want it sticking off the top, that's fine. You could do that. You could even make another one and put it on the back side if you're doing it at the very tippy top like this. Okay, once that's on and it's where you like, then we have to get a hanging loop or something to hang our tree. So I'm just going to hold that. So luckily, when we're attaching our lace, we didn't have to keep turning it back and forth. I'm about to sneeze, guys. I apologize. I'll try not to. That is not a pleasant thing on camera. We'll just go there, especially when I'm so close to it. Okay, so for a hanging loop, we can do some 3/8" grosgrain ribbon. You can tie a knot in the end of it. I often like to go to my sewing machine, sew across, and then a couple of lines up and down, somewhat like I would do for elastic when I was younger, making my elastic pants. And then I need to decide, once that's done, do I want it to hang far down on the loop? Do I want to bring this closer? Or do I want it inside the tree? So it's up to you. The one thing I recommend when you're doing this, make sure the ribbon didn't get twisted as you were getting it all set, and then it's got a twist up there. That makes it harder to hang or to hang evenly. Okay, the other recommendation would be a D-ring or a circular ring. And we could put that definitely hiding up in the tree. And for the ring, I would recommend tacking at either end. If it has an opening here, not there, maybe. If you think 2 is not enough, you could come in about 1/4 inch and tack some more. I think this is a 1-inch D-ring. Okay. If it is a whole circle, and say we're looking at the bottom of a circle here, then what I would do is I would tack in the center, and again, 1/4 to 1/2 inch away on either side, and that would hold that ring for you. And then once you do that, your tree is done and it is ready to go. And here is one of my finished ones. And now, after I'm off the camera, I get to finish one of these as a gift for a lucky friend. And your tree is done.
I love this, Michelle. Such a fun project. And I did post a link to everybody if you'd like to go ahead and take advantage of that. you are more than welcome to go to that link. Michelle's got the instructions on that page. And it's just a $5 class that you can go ahead and download, get all of those instructions to go ahead and create this awesome project. So, so fun to incorporate the freestanding lace and some of those designs that you have in your box is just a really fun project. So thank you all so much for joining us today. We did go ahead and share that Deal Day 20 as well. So if you want to take advantage of that, we highly encourage you do so. You can go ahead and use the link in the screen to go ahead and grab that deal and make sure that you type in that coupon code Deal Day 20, 20% off any of those items that we shared today. So Michelle, I absolutely loved your class. I think it was really, really fun intro into some of the what else you can do with that freestanding lace. You know, I always look at it like those are cute earrings, but there's so many possibilities. So it's really fun to see what else you can do with it.
Oh, we can challenge someone.
Yeah.
If you want. This shape makes a really neat ball, kind of like a baseball if you attach it just right.
Oh, yes. I even thought that it could be really fun for bracelets and stuff, like a little cuff. Yeah.
Right. Or if you want it 3D, you attach them all at the little corners here and then sew one wrong sides together along this seam, and then you'd open it and sew another one. Like you keep building around, and it makes a really neat spinning ornament.
Oh, you're right.
Okay. Isn't that cool?
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. Okay.
Maybe I'll go home and try it. You never know.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. We can't wait. I posted the links, so please take advantage of that. And we'll look forward to having some more great education all this week. Don't forget to join us at that customer appreciation party tomorrow. A lot of opportunities to win, including our grand prize, guys. We are announcing the winner of our grand prize giveaway, which is, of course, the holiday wish table package, along with the opportunity to go ahead and get your choice of LOA quilt box. And that's a $475 value alone. So I'm going to post one more link so you can enter to win that giveaway if you haven't already, or, you know, every day you have a chance to enter. So take advantage of that. All right. Well, thank you again, and we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Thanks again, Michelle.
You're welcome. It was so fun. Have a good
It's our final week of our So Steady 6 weeks of deals, and we are ending strong this week with one of our absolute favorites, the So Steady Grid Glider. This fan favorite tool transforms your sewing surface into a slick surface for you to have your fabric glide smoothly every time. No snags, no drags, just smooth controlled stitching every single time. Plus, a built-in measurements on the glider itself, so it will help you stay perfectly aligned for more accurate seams and flawless piecing on all of your sewing projects. And this week only, when you add a So Steady Grid Glider to your cart, we are giving you a free polish kit to keep your table ready to have any project glide through that needle area with ease. Ideal for free motion, template quilting, or really any sewing surface where you want your fabric to move freely. It's the perfect upgrade for every quilter and sewer who loves precision and a clean, smooth sewing surface for any kind of setup. Want to win big this week? Like, comment, and share on this video to enter. Buy the featured product for bonus entries, and don't forget to sign up for our weekly prize giveaway. Now, in addition to that, we are going to give you your last chance to sign up for our big grand prize, which is happening Tuesday, December 9th, this coming Tuesday at 10 a.m. So you need to sign up for the enter to win on the grand prize before then. This is huge. This is a So Steady wish table like you see right here, with one of our travel and project bags and our smartphone lounger, plus our Elevate quilt box. This amazing box right here, you can get it for our current quarter, or you can wait and get it for the next quarter that's releasing just on 2 weeks. That is a total value of over $875. So definitely want to take advantage of that if you can. Don't miss out. It's your final week to sign up for these deals, score these prizes, and don't forget to join us on Tuesday, December 9th, where we will have live giveaways. We'll be unveiling all of our new calendars and some new programs for 2026. And of course, you're going to have these bonus entries to win. So
we hope to see you on December 9th at 10 a.m. during our customer appreciation event. Happy holidays.